The spring sports season in Rochester always a work in progress. The good news is the most important games are played under the best conditions. The bad news is April. Neither the homestanding Greece Arcadia Titans nor the Honeoye Falls Lima Cougars had the opportunity to play down south, as several of their league members did. For these two teams, this was opening day. 46 degrees, a game time with a steady wind off the lake that makes North Greece so pleasant in the early spring. It was raining by the third inning. Just another day in paradise.
We've had the boys out working hard in it because we play in this all the time. Like you were saying, we're right on the lake. It's 10 degrees colder here usually, so I think we're ready to play.
HFL begins its baseball season with a renewed sense of accomplishment. The Cougars were 2012 sectional champions in Class A, having knocked off the perennial champs from Pittsford Sutherland, winners in 6 of the previous 7 years. It was HFL's first baseball title in 39 long seasons.
A lot of these kids are back from last year's group, so they've had success and they're hungry to keep having success.
So it's a tangible leftover from the championship season, you think? I
think so. We'll see. This is game one, that's first game of the season, but I truly do think that there's a different atmosphere around because of the success we had last year.
Casey Wiggins was on the mound for Arcadia, and he struggled through a rough first inning. HFL's leadoff hitter, Andrew Segar, lined a scorcher that simply overpowered third baseman Joe Skabinski. The Cougars were in business. That first ball you hit, that's the way to get things started, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've just seen the ball pretty well, and I took it off the end of the bat a little bit, but got a little in front of his curveball, but I hit it pretty good. Thought I was going to catch it, but luckily he didn't.
HFL parlayed a couple of infield hits to the right side into 2 first-inning runs. The Cougars left the bases loaded, a recurring theme in this one, but owned a 2-0 lead. The visitors' starting pitcher was senior Ryan Quackenbush. Made a name for himself as a quarterback of the HFL football team in the fall, and he got into trouble in the second. This time, Arcadia loaded the bases with 2 outs, scored a run on a walk before Ryan Schreiner's infield hit up the middle got the Titans even at 2-2. Next up was Sean Connor, batting third in the Arcadia lineup and first pitch hitting.
I consider myself to be kind of an aggressive hitter, and especially when it's cold out like this, you don't want to be standing up at the plate for too long, otherwise your hands get really cold. So I was going up there looking to swing.
Connor's long double gave the Titans a 4-2 lead through 2. In the third, Schreiner took over pitching duties for Arcadia and did well. But in that third inning, HFL stole a run. Quackenbush at third came home on a wild pitch that bounced in front of home plate. You had no business coming on that play. How did you read it?
I just saw it pop up, and I just used my speed, and I got home.
I mean, that's a ball. It was right in the apron. You wouldn't ordinarily run on that, right? That's just instinct.
Yeah, it was just instinct. As soon as I saw it in the dirt, I was coming home.
The Cougars stole that run and were down only 4-3. In the bottom of the inning, a teaching moment. Arcadia put runners at first and third with 1 out against Quackenbush. A suicide squeeze was signaled, but the batter missed the sign. And that's why they call it a suicide squeeze. The would-be Titan run was out easily at home plate. Arcadia did not score. The Cougars, meanwhile, were leaving runners on base like crazy. Schreiner pitched out of big jams in the 4th and 5th. HFL left 5 men on base and remained on the short end of a 4-3 game. The rain persisted, and it was getting dark. The Cougars rallied again in the 6th. Loading the bases with no outs, Hunter Wolf Zimmer worked a walk, and the game was tied at 4. Reimer was lifted. His catcher and Arcadia's designated closer, Jeff Rockow, shed the gear and came into pitch. The bases were still loaded, the game tied, and there were no outs. Rocco got Chris McCourt to ground into a force play at home. He struck out Segar and got Denny Segru to fly out to right. He had pitched out of the ultimate jam, and the game remained tied.
It's an amazing feeling. It takes a lot of effort, a lot of time. You got to work hard. You got to keep the peer pressure down. You got to focus, tunnel vision. You got to get through it. You got to bear down those strikes.
The umpires decreed that the bottom of the 6th inning would be the last played. If Arcadia scored, the Titans would win. If not, the tied game would be suspended. Facing the can't-win scenario, HFL's Quackenbush would have none of it.
I had 8-9-1 coming in. My arm started to feel better as the game went on. The adrenaline was pumping. I thought I was throwing my hardest at the last inning, so it was good.
HFL retired Arcadia in order to leave the game in limbo. They'll pick it up in the 7th, tied at a date to be determined.